Prokaryotes, Characteristics and Endosymbiosis by Tia Swift, Julian Van Cortwells, and Connor Timms. First, let's talk about characteristics of prokaryotes. It has circular DNA that is not contained in a membrane-bound nucleus. This is also known as a nucleoid. It does not have any membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria. Instead, it contains ribosomes and other organelles. Prokaryotes may also contain DNA and structures called plasmids. It has a plasma membrane, cell wall, and capsule that is around the cell. However, it is not made of cellulose. There is also a tail in the cell. It's known as bacterial flagellum. It helps provide movement to the cell. Prokaryotic cells also have pili that poke through the cell wall, which allows the cell to attach to different surfaces. Next, we will be talking about endosymbiotic theory. This theory states that mitochondria in animal cells evolved from aerobic bacteria that was swallowed but not digested by larger prokaryotic host cells, and chloroplasts in plant cells evolved from cyanobacteria that was swallowed but not digested by larger prokaryotic host cells. Another way to explain this is with the story of Pac-Manitude. In order to explain the story, we'll need to introduce three main characters. First character is a basic prokaryote. He eats other prokaryotes. His name is Pac-Man. The second character is an aerobic prokaryote. He figures out how to take oxygen in and make energy. His name is Inky. The third and final character is a classic model, cyanobacteria, still making oxygen from the sun. His name is Blinky. One day, Pac-Man's just sitting there munching on some yummy prokaryotes when he comes across oxygen-eating Inky. Pac-Man eats Inky, but Inky's pretty awesome and doesn't die. Instead, Inky just sits inside Pac-Man's body. Eventually, Pac-Man realizes that he can use the extra energy that Inky makes to become awesome, like eating the mushroom and becoming Big Mario. Not long later, a mutated Pac-Man ate Blinky too, and the little sun-eating cyanobacteria also became dependent on its host. It gave up its free-moving lifestyle, just as Inky had. Now we will talk about the evidence that proves the endosymbiotic theory true. Mitochondria and chloroplasts can only arise from other mitochondria or chloroplasts. In other words, a healthy cell that lacks them could not create them by itself. Both mitochondria and chloroplasts contain their own DNA in the form of a ring, like that of bacteria. Both mitochondria and chloroplasts contain their own synthesizing equipment, which is more similar to that of prokaryotes than that of eukaryotes. A number of antibiotics that act as protein synthesis inhibitors that affect bacteria also affect mitochondria and chloroplasts in similar ways, while they have no such effect on eukaryotic ribosomes. Conversely, chemicals that inhibit the synthesis of protein in ribosomes do not affect protein synthesis in bacteria, mitochondria, or chloroplasts. In other words, cells that had engulfed smaller cells to act as power sources are theorized to have repeated this process many times as an evolutionary advantage. In conclusion, the endosymbiotic theory proves that prokaryotes came before eukaryotes, and it also shows how prokaryotes evolved into eukaryotes.